Have you ever wondered how companies stay connected when their offices are spread across cities, countries, or even continents? How data moves reliably from one location to another, without users even noticing what's happening in the background? At its core, this is not just a networking problem. It's a business continuity problem. That's exactly what we're talking about today. Wide Area Networks, or WANs. Welcome to BlueHat Cybersec Academy. When we talk about WANs, we're really talking about how organizations connect locations that are far apart. This could be branch offices, data centers, cloud environments, or even remote users working from home. In many cases, WAN performance directly impacts user productivity and customer experience. Why WAN technologies still matter today? Over the years, many WAN technologies have come and gone, but some are still very much alive and heavily used today. This is because newer technologies don't always replace older ones. They often build on top of them. In this session, we'll walk through the WAN technologies that are still relevant, why they matter, and where they're commonly used in real-world networks. Dedicated circuits. Private and predictable connectivity. Let's start with one of the most traditional and reliable options. Dedicated circuits. A dedicated circuit, also called a leased line, is a private connection between two locations. The bandwidth is reserved for one customer only. This means performance does not fluctuate throughout the day. So there's no sharing and, no congestion by other users. Because of that, performance is extremely stable and predictable. This predictability is actually critical for applications that just cannot tolerate delay or packet loss. Dedicated circuits are still used today because they offer guaranteed bandwidth, very low latency, high reliability, and strong security. They also make network performance easier to troubleshoot and plan for. You'll typically see them connecting data centers, financial institutions, hospitals, or government networks, anywhere downtime is simply not acceptable. They are expensive, yes, but for mission-critical traffic, they're still worth it. Now let's move to another technology that has dominated enterprise WANs for years, MPLS. MPLS stands for Multi-Protocol Label Switching. Instead of routing traffic based purely on IP addresses, MPLS uses labels to move data through the network. This reduces routing decisions and honestly improves forwarding efficiency. This allows service providers to control traffic paths and apply quality of service. In simple terms, MPLS makes sure important traffic, like voice and video, gets priority over everything else. This is especially important during periods of high network usage. MPLS is still widely used because it offers predictable performance, low latency, strong quality of service, and a private, provider-managed network. It also simplifies complex multi-site network designs. Many large enterprises still rely on MPLS today, especially for real-time applications. That said, MPLS is no longer used by itself in most environments. Today, it's usually part of a hybrid WAN design. Another WAN technology that's very much alive today is Metro Ethernet. Metro Ethernet takes standard Ethernet, the same technology used inside offices, and extends it across a city or region. This makes WAN connectivity feel more like a large local network. The biggest advantage here is familiarity. It's Ethernet, just operating on a much larger scale. Metro Ethernet provides high speeds, easy scalability, and lower costs compared to traditional leased lines. Bandwidth upgrades are also easier compared to legacy circuits. It's commonly used to connect offices or data centers within the same metropolitan area. Latency is typically very low due to geographic proximity. For many organizations, Metro Ethernet has become the preferred option for high-speed local WAN connectivity. Now let's talk about something almost every organization uses today: broadband internet. Broadband is affordable, it's widely available, and it offers high bandwidth. It also enables fast access to cloud services. Fiber, cable, and DSL connections are now a major part of enterprise WAN designs. On its own, broadband doesn't guarantee performance or reliability. But when it's combined with other technologies, it becomes extremely powerful. This is where intelligent traffic steering becomes important. Today, broadband is commonly used for branch office connectivity, cloud and SaaS access, backup WAN links, and as an underlay for SD-WAN deployments. It dramatically reduces overall WAN costs. In modern networks, broadband is no longer just internet. It's a core part of the WAN. Security is just as important as connectivity, which brings us to VPNs. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. VPNs create encrypted tunnels over the public internet, allowing secure communication without the cost of private circuits. Encryption ensures data confidentiality and integrity. Types of VPNs you'll commonly see, well, there are two that show up most often in enterprise networks: site-to-site VPNs and remote access VPNs. VPNs are still highly relevant today, especially, with the rise of remote work. They're secure, cost-effective, flexible, and honestly pretty easy to deploy. Where are VPNs commonly used? You'll often see them for small branch offices, remote employees, or as backup connectivity when primary links fail. They also provide fast, temporary connectivity during expansions or emergencies. Now let's move into one of the most important developments in modern WAN design, SD-WAN. SD-WAN stands for Software-Defined Wide Area Network. Instead of managing WAN links manually, SD-WAN uses software and centralized control to make intelligent decisions. This really helps reduce operational complexity for network teams. So, how does SD-WAN make smarter routing choices? Well, it can route traffic based on application type, network conditions, and business policies. One of the biggest strengths of SD-WAN is that it can use multiple connections at the same time, like MPLS, broadband internet, dedicated circuits, and even LTE or 5G. This really improves both performance and resilience. This actually makes networks more flexible, more resilient, and often more cost-effective. It also provides better visibility into application performance. For many organizations today, SD-WAN has become the foundation of their entire WAN strategy. Speaking of LTE and 5G, let's talk a bit about wireless WAN. Wireless WAN technologies allow connectivity without physical cables, using cellular networks instead. This removes dependency on physical infrastructure. So where does wireless WAN really shine? Well, that makes them ideal for backup links, temporary sites, remote locations, and rapid deployments. And with the rise of fifth generation, or 5G, we're also seeing higher speeds and lower latency than ever before. This really opens the door for new use cases. In some scenarios, wireless WAN is no longer just a backup. It's actually becoming the primary connection. When you step back and look at all of this together, one thing becomes very clear. Most enterprises today don't rely on a single WAN technology. And the reason is simple. No single WAN solution is perfect for every situation. Different applications have different needs. Some require very low latency, others need high bandwidth, and some just need a reliable, low-cost connection. That's where the idea of a hybrid WAN comes in. A hybrid WAN means using multiple WAN technologies together, instead of depending on just one. This approach reduces risk because if one connection fails, others can take over. And it increases flexibility, because traffic can be sent over the best possible path at any given time. So what does a hybrid WAN actually look like in the real world? It might mean using MPLS for critical traffic like voice and video, where performance and low latency are essential. Dedicated circuits may be used to connect data centers, where stability and guaranteed bandwidth matter the most. Broadband internet is often added for cost efficiency and easy access to cloud services. SD-WAN sits on top of all these links, acting as the intelligent brain of the network. It continuously monitors link quality and dynamically steers traffic based on real-time conditions, such as latency, packet loss, or congestion. Wireless WAN, like LTE or 5G, is commonly used as a backup or for rapid deployments when wired links are unavailable. Together, this hybrid approach delivers the best balance of performance, reliability, scalability, and cost, without locking the organization into a single technology. So, to wrap things up, WAN technologies are still evolving, but many remain highly relevant. Dedicated circuits, MPLS, Metro Ethernet, broadband internet, VPNs, SD-WAN, and wireless WAN all play an important role in modern networks. There is no one-size-fits-all WAN solution. The right strategy depends on business goals, application requirements, budget, and risk tolerance. The key is understanding when to use each technology and how they work together to build a WAN that supports real business needs, both today and in the future. Thanks for learning with BlueHat Cybersec Academy. If this video added value to your day, give it a like, share it with someone who could benefit, and subscribe for more practical cybersecurity and networking content. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear how you're applying these concepts in your labs or real-world networks. Until next time, stay curious, stay secure, and keep building smarter networks.